4 most mysterious men to ever walk the earth. Human history is filled with intriguing tales of mysterious people who were never identified and whose identities remain to be an enigma. It seems like these individuals have merged out of nowhere and left with no traceable past. In this video, we'll take a look at a selection of the most mysterious men to ever walk the earth. The Tank Man. This is the name given to an unidentified man who stood right in front of a column of advancing tanks on June 5, 1989, the day after the infamous bloody incident at Tiananmen Square in China, where tens of thousands of lives had perished. Videos found all over the internet shows the Tank Man standing in front of the vehicles with nothing in his hands but a couple of filled grocery bags. In an effort to avoid running over the man, the tanks swerved away, only to be blocked again. He even climbed on one of the tanks to talk to a military officer. This intense confrontation lasted over 2 minutes. No one knew exactly the identity of the now famous unknown rebel, and the world can only guess what transpired after the incident. Theories suggest that the Tank Man was executed by the Chinese government to keep his identity. Others said that he was detained in an internment camp where he remained in prison for the rest of his life. His act of bravery, though, became a global symbol for civil disobedience. The Time magazine named him one of the most influential people of the 20th century. Poe Toaster. There's nothing strange in remembering the death of a famous person, say an actor, a politician, or a poet. However, if the commemoration is done in a rather secretive and particular way, then it begins to raise some eyebrows. Edgar Allan Poe, the great American Gothic poet, died in 1849. A century later, an unidentified man began appearing every year at the poet's ceremonial gravestone, located in Baltimore. Like a devoted friend or a loved one, this man, who earns the nickname of Poe Toaster, appears annually at the site, exactly on the same date as of the author's birthday, which is January 19th. Several eyewitness accounts described the man to be of tall stature, dressing in a completely dark ensemble of clothes and carrying a cane. At the site, the man would perform what appears to be an unusual ritual of pouring a glass of cognac and toasting the poet. He then would leave the unfinished bottle and 3 roses on the grave. In the later years, the tradition began to include leaving notes on the stone. The Poe Toaster died in 1999, but the tradition was carried over by his son until 2010. The Unknown Woman of the Seine. L'inconnue de la Seine. Yes, this is a woman instead of a man, but her story is an interesting one nonetheless. It was in the late 1800s when a woman's body was found dead and floating in the Seine River. She was believed to be around 16 years of age. The young woman's remains showed no signs of foul play, giving the authorities the assumption that her death was a suicide. When her body was taken to the coroner's office, the coroner was enthralled by her beauty. He spent many hours crafting a death mask of the girl's face in hopes that her beauty could be preserved. In case you didn't know, death masks, which is a wax or plaster cast of a dead person's face, were a thing back then. Eventually, people saw the girl's masks and they too were bewitched by its beauty, and so they wanted to get their own death mask of the drowned lady. The popularity soon spread throughout Germany, France, and the rest of the continent. Then the year 1958 came when the first CPR doll was made, and its face? You guessed it, it is the Unknown Woman of the Seine. This means to say that if you've taken a CPR class, you probably just might have done a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation with L'Inconnue. The Somerton Man. The Somerton Man is one of the most baffling mysteries from the land down under. The year was 1948 when an unknown man was found lying dead on Somerton Beach in Adelaide. Found in the scene was a rather clean, well-dressed man believed to be in his 40s. Autopsy reports determined that the unidentified man didn't die of a heart attack as he appeared healthy inside and out. Police authorities also found no signs of struggle or convulsions. However, upon closer look, his wallet was removed from his person. Bereft of any trace of identification, the police scoured the area for anything that could help identify the man, but to no avail. However, in his pocket they found a single scrap of torn paper written with the words, "Tamam shud." The phrase is Persian for "it is finished," which appeared in an 11th century book by Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. Further investigation led the discovery of the book to which the piece of paper was torn from. The book was riddled with lines that looked like secret codes, and an unlisted phone number which traced back to a woman named Jessica Thompson. When shown with a plaster cast of the Somerton Man's body, Thompson looked shocked, but she denied ever knowing the deceased. Her name was soon removed from the case file. However, it was later discovered that Thompson had a son who bore close resemblance with the unidentified man, such as having no incisor teeth and the same strange ear feature. Even today, no one was able to figure out who the Somerton Man was and how he ended up dead on that beach. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.